Good day, everyone. We are the Group 9, and today we're going to report about the government as an agent of socialization. So, before that, we would like to introduce ourselves first.
I am Jessamine Riva.
I am Javen Sajarin.
I am Prince Roniel P. Sayang.
I am John Michael B.
Sorry, I'm Valia. So, first, let's define the word government o pamahalaan. So, ito po yung sistemang namumuno at nangasiwa sa isang bansa, rehiyon o komunidad. Ito ang may kapangyarihang gumawa ng mga batas at magpatupad nito at magdesisyon para sa kapakanan ng mga mamamayan. So halimbawa na lang po sa ating bansa which is the Philippines, ang pamahalaan ay binubuo ng tatlong sangay. Yung una po ay yung presidente, pangalawa yung senado at kongreso, at yung pangatlo ay yung mga hukuman. So may tungkulin po ang pamahalaan. Ito po ay yung gumawa at magpatupad ng batas, pangalagaan ng kapayapaan at kaayusan, magbigay ng serbisyo publiko katulad po ng edukasyon, pangkalusugan, at iba pa. So, next slide po ay yung socialization. So, ito po yung proseso kung saan natututo ang isang tao ng mga asal, paniniwala, kultura at pagpapahalaga ng lipunan kung saan siya nabibilang. So, dito po nalilinang or nahuhubog yung pagkatao ng isang individual mula sa pagkabata hanggang sa pagtanda. So, next one po is yung what is government as an agent of socialization? So, in the government po teaches people how to become good citizen by creating laws, promoting values like discipline and respect, and encouraging national identity. So, sa pamamagitan po ng mga batas, programa at serbisyo, tinuturuan po tayo as a citizen kung ano ang tama at mali sa mata ng lipunan. So next one po is yung importance ng government in socialization. So the first one po is it promotes law and order. So yung pamahalaan po ang responsible sa pamanatili ng kapayapaan at kaayusan sa lipunan. So sa pamagitan po ng mga pinapatupad nilang batas, tinuturuan po tayo as a citizen o mamamayan na iwasan yung mga crimes, sumunod sa mga rules and regulation o patakaran at igalang yung karapatan ng iba. So, dahil po dito, natututo tayong kumilos ayon sa itinakdang alituntunin ng lipunan. So, yung pangalawa po is instill civic responsibility. So, tinuturuan po tayo ng pamahalaan na maging responsible at aktibong mamayan. Katulad na lang po ng pagboto o pagbayad ng mga buwis at pagtulong sa mga community. So isa po itong way o paraan ng pagsasanay sa ating gampanin bilang pagmamahal sa ating bayan para makibahagi sa pag-unlad ng bansa. So yung pangatlo po is builds national unity and identity. So sa pamagitan po ng pambansang sipulo kagaya po ng mga watawat or celebration kagaya po ng Independence Day, pinapalalim po nito yung pagmamahal natin sa bansa. Since dahil nga po doon nagkakaroon tayo ng pagkakakilanlan bilang Pilipino at dahil po doon nagre-resolve po ng pagkakaisa yung buong lipunan. So yung pang-apat po is shapes moral and ethical values. So sa pamamagitan po ng mga laws and public policies, it guide us citizen or people to do what is right and dun, and iwasan pong magkamali, influencing our behavior and attitudes. So, yung last one po is protects individual rights and freedoms. So, ito po yung isa sa pinakamahalagang papel ng pamahalaan ay yung tiyakin yung karapatan ng bawat mamamayan, kagaya po ng kalayaan sa pagpapahayag, kalayaan sa edukasyon at pantay na pagtrato. So dahil po dito natututo tayong pahalagaan hindi lang yung sarili nating kalayaan, kundi pati yung karapatan ng iba.
Roles of government in socialization. So, sa roles ng government sa socialization kasi yun yung process kung saan yung people ay natututo sila kung ano yung norms, yung values, at yung behavior na necessary para makapag-participate sila sa society. So, yan yung mga several key roles ng government sa socialization na nagsishape sa citizens kung paano mag-behave, mag-isip, at makipag-interact sila sa ibang tao. una-una dyan yung laws and order. So, yan yung one of the most fundamental roles ng government, yung ma-maintain yung law and yung order. Kasi without peace and security, yung society natin, hindi siya magpa-function ng maayos. So, the government needs to create laws and enforcement agencies tulad ng mga police, ng court, at ng military. So, when citizens see them being, like, they are being enforced, they learn what behavior yung acceptable and which one naman yung hindi. So, this teach people the importance of discipline and responsibility. For example niyan, sa Pilipinas, yung anti-drug campaigns, though controversial siya, nagsasend yun ng message about danger ng illegal substance o yung pinagbabawal na gamot. Tapos, yung sa everyday life naman natin na nararanasan, like yung mga traffic rules na kailangan nating sundin. Kasi, through this law and order, the government socialized people to respect the authority, to value peace, and to live harmoniously with one another. Second one, and another important role ng government ay yung mag-provide ng civic education. So, yung civic education, this refers to the program and system na nagtiteach sa citizens about their rights, duties, and responsibilities. So, yung government, nag-integrate sila ng mga civic education sa school curriculums para matutunan yun ng mga tao. Yung topic dun ay about democracy, justice, and patriotism. So, meron din campaigns about voter registration, taxation, or disaster preparedness na nagpo-form sa civic education. Example niyan ay yung araling panlipunan na natutunan natin nung lower year tayo, like elementary or maybe high school. Yung sa araling panlipunan na yan, tinuturuan tayo about government system, yung history, at saka yung citizenship. Tapos, during election periods naman, mayroon tayong mga government-led information na nagdadrive para i-encourage yung citizen to vote wisely and mag-participate sa governments. Kasi through these efforts, citizens are socialized to become informed, responsible, and active members ng society. Third naman ay yung na nagpe-play yung government ay yung sa central role in nation building. This means strengthening national unity, identity, and pride. The government does this by promoting common values, funding development projects, and fostering solidarity among citizens. For example niyan yung mga national holidays natin, like Independence Day celebration, na nagka-create ng sense of pride, belonging, and then another example din yung mga infrastructure project tulad ng Build program sa Pilipinas na hindi lang nagpo-provide ng job opportunities kundi pati economic growth, and nagbi-build din siya ng collective confidence sa national progress. So, next po ay yung social welfare. So, yung government nag-a-act din siya as provider ng social welfare. Kasi yung social welfare programs, nagpo-protect siya sa mga vulnerable and nagpo-promote siya ng equity sa society. By doing this, government socialize people into values such as compassion, solidarity, and fairness. Example niyan yung sa Pilipinas, yung Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program o yung mas kilala natin sa 4Ps, yung nagbibigay ng conditional cash transfer sa mga may hirap ng mga pamilya, kung saan mayroong part doon na para sa education and mayroon namang part na pera na para sa health. Kasi yung mga ganong type of initiative nagtiteach sa citizens or sa ating society na we should also care para sa mga weakest members natin o yung mga mahihirap natin. Kasi collective responsibility is a shared value. Sunod naman ay yung government, nagre-regulate siya ng media and institution to ensure that the information people consume is safe, truthful, and beneficial to society. Yan yung sa mga regulations nila. So, example niyan ay yung sa Pilipinas, yung Movie and Television Review Classification Board o yung mas kilala natin as MTRCB, yung lumalabas sa mga monitor before mag-start yung palabas. Yung mga nagmo-monitor ng TV shows, yung ng films, para ma-ensure na they do not promote harmful values. Kasi through this role, the government influences how people think, the values they develop, and the type of culture that become dominant sa society. So, next slide po ay educational system management. So, ito yung isa sa makapangyarihang tools or powerful tools sa socialization. Kasi by managing education system, they are setting national standards, mga curricula and policies governments. Nagde-decide sila ng mga values and knowledge na dapat matutunan ng mga next generations. Yun nga yung example niyan, yung mga free education programs na nagpo-promote ng equal access na matututunan ng mga tao na dapat ma-access din ng kahit mga mahihirap na pamilya. Next po ay economic regulation and employment opportunities. So, they are setting labor laws, nagpo-provide sila ng mga job programs and regulating industries. Example nito ay yung minimum wage na nagtiteach sa atin ng principle ng fairness and workers' rights. Next ay yung cultural preservation and promotion. Ito yung when nag-shape sa socialization by promoting local arts, ng tradition, ng heritage, and they instill pride, identity, and belonging sa citizens. For example niyan ay yung NCCA o yung National Commission for Culture and Arts sa Pilipinas na nagpe-preserve ng mga indigenous tradition, local heritage. Similar efforts na makikita natin worldwide ay yung sa Japan, kung saan pinaprotektahan nila yung mga traditional festivals nila at yung cultural properties nila. So, another one ay environmental stewardship. So, sa modern government natin ngayon, they also play as a vital role sa teaching, sa pagtuturo sa mga citizens kung paano mangalaga ng kapaligiran natin. So, laws and programs sa conservation, mayroon din sa recycle, mayroon sa sustainability, na nakaka-help para sa mga tao na i-value yung nature and mag-practice for ating responsible living. So, example niyan ay yung Ecological Solid Waste Management Act noong 2000 sa Pilipinas, kung saan nire-require na yung mga community ay i-practice yung waste segregation globally. So, globally naman, mayroon namang initiative na binaban yung mga plastics o yung tinatawag nating single-use plastic and environment. So, last one, yung foreign relation and global socialization. So, ito naman yung government nagiging part sila ng socialization through foreign relationship o yung pag-i-engage sa diplomacy, sa trade, sa international cooperation. Example niyan, yung mga exchange students na nakipagsapalaran sa ibang bansa, kung saan natututunan nila yung cultural diversity, yung international cooperation, tapos nakipag-participate din tayo sa mga organization tulad ng UN or yung United Nations na nagpo-promote ng values for peace, human rights, at global citizenship. Yan lang po.
So next po isang political socialization. So political socialization is the process by which individuals acquire their political beliefs, values, attitudes, and behaviors. So this report provides an in-depth examination of the factors that contribute to political socialization and its impact on individuals' political perspectives and behaviors. So factors contributing to political socialization. So our analysis reveals that several key factors include family and upbringing. So parents, guardians, or family members play a significant role in shaping individuals' early perceptions of politics. From a young age, individuals are often instilled with political values and beliefs that can influence their future political attitudes and behaviors. And the next is education. So formal education exposes individuals to various political ideologies, historical events, and civil responsibilities, which can significantly influence their political understanding. Educational institutions can provide a foundation for critical thinking and informed decision making. The next is ang media. So, news outlets, social medias, and other forms of media can shape public opinion and influence political attitudes by selectively presenting information. The media's role in political socialization highlights the importance of critical thinking and media literacy. Social environment. So, social environment interactions with friends, peers, and community members can impact political views and encourage political participation. Social networks can provide opportunities for discussion, debate, and engagement. Cultural norms. So, cultural norms are societal values, traditions, and cultural identity can influence political attitudes and behaviors. Understanding the cultural context is essential for effective political engagement and communication. Personal experiences. Significant life events such as economic hardship or social injustices can shape individuals' political perspectives, and personal experiences can provide a unique lens through which individuals view politics and policy issues. Next is ang impacts on women. So, ang isa nga dito is ang limited political participation. Women may be socialized to prioritize domestic roles over political engagement, limiting their opportunities for political participation and leadership. This can result in a lack of representation and disconnect between women's interests and policy decisions. Next is ang underrepresentation. Women may be underrepresented in politics due to socialization that discourages them from pursuing leadership roles. So this underrepresentation can lead to a lack of diverse perspectives and ideas in policy making. Next is ang different policy priorities. Women may prioritize policies related to family, education, and healthcare due to their socialization. So this can lead to a focus that are often overlooked or undervalued in policy making. Next is ang impacts on men. So, ang isa nga sa impacts on men is ang traditional masculinity. Men may be socialized to prioritize strength, aggression, and dominance, influencing their political attitudes and behaviors. This can lead to a focus on policies that promote power and control rather than cooperation and collaboration. Next is ang leadership expectations. Men may be expected to take on leadership roles, shaping their political ambitions and participation. This can result in a lack of diversity in leadership positions and the perpetual of traditional power structures. Then, policy priorities. Men may prioritize policies related to economy, defense, and security due to their socialization. This can lead to a focus on issues that are often seen as traditionally masculine rather than issues that are important to all members of society. Then next is cultural socialization. What is cultural socialization? Cultural socialization refers to the process by which individuals learn and internalize the cultural norms, values, and expectations associated with their gender. This complex process shapes identity, influences behavior, and fosters social roles. Think of it like learning a new language. You're not just memorizing words but also understanding the context, nuances, and cultural references that come with it. So, ano ba yung mga aspects ng cultural socialization? So, isa na nga dito is yung learning gender roles. Individuals learn about social expectations for masculinity and femininity through various channels including family, education, media, and peer interactions. The next is internalizing cultural values. People internalize cultural values and norms which influence their perceptions of themselves and others. This can impact their self-esteem, confidence, and relationships, shaping identity, confidence, and self-esteem. Next is ang agents of cultural socialization. So, una dyan na family. Parents and caregivers reinforce gender roles through activities. For instance, parents might encourage boys to be more aggressive and competitive while encouraging girls to be more nurturing and cooperative. Next is education. Schools and teachers often perpetuate traditional gender stereotypes themselves and their abilities. For example, girls might be discouraged from pursuing STEM because STEM is connected to engineering, and engineering is a boys' course, while boys might be encouraged to take on leadership roles. Then next is media. Media representation can reinforce or challenge gender norms. The way men and women are portrayed in movies, TV shows, and advertisements can shape societal expectations and influence individual behavior. And lastly, some peer groups or interaction with peers can shape gender identity and reinforce norms. Friends and classmates can influence individual behavior and attitudes towards gender roles. Yan lang next.
So, social norms and values. Governments enforces laws and regulation that reflects societal norms and values. These influence individuals' behavior and help in maintaining social order. So, in the Philippines, laws are made to reflect shared values such as respect for life, family, and community. By enforcing these laws, the government guides people's behavior and ensure peace and order in society. So, yung example po ng mga laws na ginawa ng ating government is yung the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act or RA 9262. So, yung batas na to reflects the Filipino value of protecting the family. So, yung batas na to ay nag-help para maiwasan yung abuse, domestic violence, and it also supports victims and promotes respect sa household and strengthen yung social order. So next is education and public services. So governments provide education and public services that contribute to the socialization of citizens. Schools, for example, civic values and social skills, while public health services promotes healthy behaviors. In the Philippines, yung government ay may malaking in shaping how people learn to live and work together. Schools teaches values like paggalang or respect, bayanihan or community spirit, and responsibility as citizen. While public services such as health centers guides people to practice good hygiene and healthy lifestyles. So, yung efforts na to ay tumutulong sa mga Pilipino na maging responsable at maging cooperative member ng society. So, example for this is yung Department Education's Value for Education program na nagtuturo ng civic and moral values sa mga paaralan. While yung program naman ng Department of Health na bawat bata bumasa, and yung mga vaccination programs na nagpo-promote ng literacy at saka nagpe-prevent ng mga diseases and tumutulong sa mga communities for health practices. So next is media regulation. When government regulate media, they can influence how people think and behave by controlling what information is shared with the public. This shapes what society consider normal or acceptable. So sa Philippines, meron tayong tinatawag na MTRCB or Movie and Television Review and Classification Board. So yung MTRCB is nagre-regulates ng TV shows and films sa Philippines. So, nire-rate nila yung mga TV shows and films sa Philippines katulad ng G, PG, or SPG na tumutulong or nagpe-prevent na sa mga nagpe-prevent ng mga hindi magagandang na mga harmful influences sa mga manonood. So, for instances, may mga programs na merong mga inappropriate na content para sa mga bata. So, sila yung nagre-regulate nun at nagre-rate nun for restriction. So this ensures that media promotes positive values and protects viewers, especially the youth, from harmful influences.
Next, we have factors affecting gender socialization. So first, gender socialization is the process through an individual learns the behaviors, attitudes, roles that are expected of him or her given the appropriateness for his or her given or assigned gender at birth. So the first factor that we have here is the family, since they are the first influencers when it comes to gender roles. They often encourage independence, assertiveness, and physical activity for boys, and for girls, they are mainly encouraged to be the one to help with household chores or pay dolls. There is a belief system here that boys should be strong, assertive, and providers, while girls should be caring, polite, and responsible for domestic duties. Next factor here is the education. Schools reinforce these gender differences. Boys are often encouraged to focus on subjects like math, science, and sports, while girls are guided toward arts, literature, or caregiving skills. Boys are encouraged to pursue leadership, problem solving, and competitive roles, while girls are guided toward cooperative, artistic, and or caregiving roles. There is a belief here that boys excel in STEM, sports, or leadership, while girls are better at communication, arts, and nurturing activities. Next factor is media. Media portrays gender roles in different ways. For boys, they are usually shown as strong, brave, and independent, while girls are mostly portrayed as damsels in distress. There's a belief here that men should be dominant, independent, and strong, whereas women should be attractive, emotional, and nurturing. Next factor is peer groups. Friends and social circles play a significant role. Boys may be teased if they displayed vulnerability or interests that are considered feminine, while girls may face pressure to conform to beauty standards. Peer groups reinforce that deviation from gender norms is unacceptable. Boys should not cry, or girls shouldn't be bossy. Next factor here is the culture and religion. Cultural traditions and religious teachings often have different expectations for boys and girls. Men are usually expected to be the leaders, while girls or women are expected to be the one who focuses on family, caregiving, and domestic responsibilities. Cultural and religious teachings often promote patriarchal structures or traditional gender hierarchies. Next is the social institutions. Institutions like the workplace and government also affect boys and girls differently. Leadership roles and career opportunities are often skewed towards men, while women may face unfairness or inequality, such as unequal pay or limited representation. Men are often seen in leadership, politics, or public roles, while women are in supportive, domestic, or caregiving roles. Society believes that leadership, risk-taking, and decision-making are masculine traits, while nurturing, support, and service are feminine traits. Last is the personal experience. Finally, personal experience influence how boys and girls develop their sense of gender. A boy raised by nurturing role models may feel comfortable expressing emotions, while a girl raised in a family that values independence may pursue leadership, promotions, or positions. Exposure to diverse experience helps both genders question stereotypes and develop their unique identity. Individuals develop personal beliefs influenced by role models, successes, and social expectations. So that's it for the factors that affect gender socializations. Thank you.